welcome back here to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. Game number 8 getting ready to tip off, but we got the winning coach from game number 7, Coach Jeremy Anderson from Macomb High. Coach, you guys did a lot of things well, but I'm sure there's some things you can work on too, right?
Well, you know, shoot, we've been talking a long time. It all comes down to our half-court defense. And I thought tonight when we had stamina before we got tired, I thought our half-court defense was outstanding. I thought we were really moving well. I thought we were helping each other. We were staying in front of the ball. That was the keys that we talked about before the game, and our guys deserve a lot of credit because, man, some of them played some major minutes. Some of them never came out, right?
Yes.
And so I really give those kids a lot of credit. There's a lot of courage, and really gave it everything they had. Very proud of them.
Yeah, you guys, you're really only let down, I felt like, in the game was late, like you said, maybe when they ran out of a little gas. But you called a timeout, and they responded well after the timeout.
We did respond well. We were able to break the pressure and get a couple easy baskets, which really helped. When Dion goes up and throws one down, it really energizes the rest of the guys again, so now they're okay for 2 more possessions of defense. The only criticism I have of our game tonight that can't be easily fixed is when things got to be kind of tough, I heard some bickering amongst our boys, and that's something that we're really going to have to work on. The rest of the timing and the spacing and the habits can be done in practice, but I'm going to need those boys to really take ownership of that type of thing so we can eliminate it.
Yeah, bickering amongst yourself can't happen. West Hancock's got as about as verbal as fans as you can have.
Sure.
There was a little bit of chirping between some players and some fans too. That's something that, as long as it doesn't get out of hand, I suppose isn't necessarily a horrible thing, but at the same time, you don't want the fans to be the focus, right?
Well, the best players, the best teams don't react, right? One of the best kids I've ever coached against was a kid named Micah Lavender that played at Alton Marquette, went on to start at Southern Illinois as a freshman. We played him down at the Pittsfield tournament one time, and we were trying to be physical with him, and his expression never changed. He was stone cold, locked in the entire time. He probably dropped 35 on us with 4 or 5 of our guys hanging on him the entire game. You've got to have that type of demeanor. You can't react to any and everything that's said or anything and everything that happens. You've got to keep that poker face, is how I like to call it. And bickering amongst yourselves is a way that can separate you. I thought we righted the ship late. Again, got a couple key defensive stops, and then we're able to kind of milk it out there at the end.
A lot of contact there on that drive for Xavier Hilton, but no foul call. You guys, I think, have shown improvement. I feel like the games I've watched, which has been all 3, you're showing little improvements every game, though, don't you think?
And that's exactly what you want to see. We even said that in the locker room after the game. I said, okay, let's compare the defensive effort that we had tonight compared to what it was the very first night of the tournament. It was 1,000% better tonight. And so a lot of that comes with expectations. A lot of it comes with just getting more comfortable while you're out there, realizing that you need to play the game plan in order for everyone to be successful. And so let's hope that we keep taking those steps forward.
And that has to be good to see, considering, like we talked about, without getting a chance to practice. There's a 3 by Reese Shoup. Without getting the opportunity to practice, seeing marginal improvements is a good thing, right?
That's why it's such a huge advantage for us to have continuity. Myself, we've been here for 12 years. Coach Lang has been here longer than me. Zach, I absolutely trust with everything, even though it's his, just his second year on the staff. Having guys that have played in our system the last couple years. So like this morning, right before we got on the bus, we have a half-hour walkthrough, and we're not inventing new things. We're just reminding. Maybe we haven't covered them yet, but we're reminding about things that they already are aware of. That continuity is huge.
Yeah, even when you're quote-unquote adding something new for the year, it's not new to them because they've done it before.
Most of the time, absolutely.
That's one of the things that, I talked about. Of all the coaches that are here this week, and there's a nice pass in for Clayton Hunt to get a bucket for the Cyclones. I need to update the scoreboard. I apologize. You and Coach Dahl have a lot of experience. I mean, both of you coach maybe some other places and stuff, but you've got a lot of years on the bench. So this 5 games in 6 days, no practices, is not something new to either one of you two guys.
Well, it doesn't make any difference, though, if it's new to us. It's getting the guys to understand the grind that it's going to be, right? It's getting them to understand that it's a really intense, it's a really urgent thing. Even though there's 5 games, we don't want to sleepwalk through a quarter and then be really disappointed at the end. And so getting those younger guys, especially that haven't done this type of thing before, to understand that it may take the first 3 games. But I'm really happy for a day off tomorrow, I can tell you that.
Well, I can imagine a lot of the guys are. And you're playing 3 games in a row, and you talked about kids would rather play than practice. But
oh, you know they would, Dwayne.
But games are more tiring than practice.
Oh, absolutely. If we could have simulated the intensity of the last game we just played in practices, yeah, shoot, that would be unbelievable. You just can't do it. It's impossible to do.
You got to travel on Matt Whitman after the steal. The freshman driving down had a lot of, and that's one of the things that you just come into this early season tournaments, and since you have some kids that have been in the system and they've played quite a bit, you probably weren't as nervous about it, but somebody like West Prairie that's starting 2 or 3 freshmen and stuff, the intensity, you can't replicate that.
I think in that situation you have to play the big picture, right? You have to play the long game and get those boys to understand, yeah, you may take some lumps in this, but if you'll understand how intense it's going to be, it's only going to do you better. It's only going to do you good in the long run when you get to be juniors and seniors. If you'll stick with it and keep playing hard, keep playing together.
I think a foul's going to be called there, maybe on Braden Copeland. Nope. Matt Whitman, number 10, picked up the foul. His team's first. Colin Kerfman and Steven Sparks comes in.
Tonight, in our game tonight, if I had to wager, right, that's the first of 3, maybe 4 times that those 2 teams will play.
Right.
And each and every one of them is going to be intense. And so if you're in the neighborhood when you see those 2 teams matched up again, whether it's, I know we host them this year sometime in January, if it's in the holiday tournament or who knows where in a regional, it'd be worth the drive.
That's what I was going to say. And outside of the regular season one, and then Braden Copeland's going to pick up a foul a long ways from the basket. His first, team second. What I was going to say there is odds are outside of maybe the one at the regular season, they're all going to be at important points for the 2 teams.
You know, holiday tournament's something that we look forward to every year. And I'm sure West Hancock boys are very similar because it's kind of a fun, prestigious event to play in. So you always want to play well there. So I could definitely see us matching up with them at some point down at the holiday tournament. I think they have a really nice team. They're really well coached. Man, they can really move the ball, skilled. Got guys that can really drive it and shoot it. Defensively, they cause you all sorts of trouble. So we talked about in the locker room before the game about how it was really going to be a measuring stick for both teams. And I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you guys are higher on the measuring stick right now maybe than West Hancock. But like you said, a physical game like that can change just as quickly back the other way, can't it?
Oh, sure, right, absolutely.
As a free throw by Wesley Robertson is good.
2 really solid teams. We played, 7 guys. I'm not sure how many coach played. If he played 7 or 8 guys, 15, 16 kids out there busting their guts the whole time. That's what it's all about, Dwayne. That's what it's all about.
So how's this set you up for the rest of the weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, this sets me up for, Dwayne. Tonight, I'm going to go home. I'm going to sit in my chair. I'm going to watch the Purdue game that I got set to TiVo right now. I'm probably going to fall asleep in that chair watching said game. Tomorrow, I'm going to go with Wendy and the kids to St. Augustine. Probably eat way more than what I ever should and fall asleep there, come home, and probably watch some film. And then Friday, we're going to have to try to deal with IDub, which I know is going to be a challenge. But I'm not going to worry about it, Dwayne, for probably 24 hours.
You know what? That's a nice thing to hear, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Especially when there's a whole lot of turkey and fixins involved in the middle of it.
Well, hey, it does.
Or wouldn't matter if there was turkey or fixins.
I have a problem I have a problem, Dwayne. It's pretty much whatever passes my face. That's what it's ingested. So.
Well, I can appreciate that quite obviously.
Thanks, man. I
Thank
really
you, sir.
appreciate your support.
No problem. Good luck, and we'll
Thank
see you Friday. Coach Anderson talking to us about the seafood diet. You seafood, you eat it. He doesn't look like he eats that way. I look like I eat that way, in all honesty. But John Reynolds, he'll be here calling some basketball for us on Friday. Games start at 4 o'clock on Friday. Reese Shoup's going to try to add to his point total. Can't do it there. It's 10-6. Illini West with the lead. Reese Shoup has 8 of those points. Wesley Robertson has 2 on a pair of free throws. Braden Copeland has 2. Brody Cordell has 2. And Clayton Hunt has 2 for West Prairie. Forcing it inside. Can't finish on the shot. The ball goes off of Sparks, out of bounds. They'll stay with West Prairie. Braden Copeland couldn't get that shot to fall. West Prairie, folks, we talked about Macomb making some improvement every game. West Prairie is making serious improvement every game. They have played much better each and every night they've come to the court, and they're starting off much better here. And then I jinx them with the turnover there. Reese Shoup pushes it back the other way. And reaching in to get the foul, number 23, Braden Copeland, his second, team's third. Fourth, excuse me, so I missed one along the way there somewhere. It's going to be Reese Shoup at the free throw line, shooting 2. First one is good. Second one coming for Reese Shoup. It's off the back iron, no good. Ball picked up off the floor by Braden Copeland, and back the other way it goes. 1:40 remaining here in the first quarter. Copeland's going to get it across half court to Whitman. Out to Eli to counter, down low. And Rankin is going to pick up the foul for Illini West. That'll be their team's first foul. Rankin has his first. Hilton checks back in. Checking out is Braden Copeland with 2 fouls. Probably take a seat for a little bit. Whitman to inbound for West Prairie. Into Eli to counter. On the dribble. Goes to Hilton. Hilton raised it up, and he's going to get called for the charge. Xavier Hilton picks up the foul, his first. It's a non-shooting foul, but the bonus comes now for the Chargers the rest of the way. 1:24 remaining here in quarter number 1. Colby Robertson down the corner. Reese Shoup, 3 off, no good. Rankin with the rebound. He's going to go down to Sparks, and Sparks is going to be fouled by Brody Cordell. That'll be his second foul. Oh, I had it. It was Whitman had the other foul down at the bottom. The free throw line shooting 2 for Illini West is number 20, Steven Sparks. It's a shooting foul. He'll hit the first. Andrew Hunt checking in. I believe he was the leading scorer last night for West Prairie. 12-6. Second one off, no good. Clayton Hunt with the rebound. Timeout going to be charged to West Prairie. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take a break as well, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. You're watching McDonough Telephone cooperative coverage of West Prairie sports.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
And welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. This game being brought to you by MTC Communications. Have slow and unreliable internet just doesn't cut it in 2023. MTC Communications offering lightning fast, reliable fiber internet, video, phone service, and camera systems to McDonough Henderson and Hancock County areas, visit mtccrowdfiber.com to check your availability. Whitman is against a 1-2-2 here, it looks like, from the Chargers. It went through the hands of Andrew Hunt, out of bounds. Turnover, possession to the Chargers. Kerfman's going to have to come back and get it from Colby Robertson, who steps back inbounds and gets the ball right back. Robertson's going to eat up the rest of the clock, it looks like here, down to 15 seconds in quarter number 1. Reese Shoup with it to Robertson. 6 seconds remaining. Corner, Shoup, 3. He got wiped out. Got pushed by Eli DeCounter, got pushed into him, but the foul counts nonetheless. 3.8 seconds remaining. Eli DeCounter picks up his first foul. 3 free throws coming for Reese Shoup. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line thus far. First one is good. Live chat is open. Hop in there and tell us where you're watching from. Second one is no good. 2 for 4 with the third one coming here in this group of 3 after being fouled on a three-point shot. Third one is good. Got 11 points, does Shoup here in the first quarter. Long three-quarter short court shot by Whitman is no good, and that's how the quarter comes to an end. The Chargers lead the Cyclones 13-6. We'll take a break and be back on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH right after this.
It was the community that really drew me back to Macomb. I'm from a small community, and I'm from a farm family, and ultimately I always wanted to practice in a place like that, and I felt that I had the ability to connect to people who with a similar background from me, and the fact that the staff members at the hospital and the support, all the support staff at the hospital was also focused with the goal of patient care. It felt like it just all came hammered at home for me.
And welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. We got the man, the myth, the legend on with us right now, Mr. Shelby Burgett. Shelby, it's a pretty long week of basketball here.
It is, but I don't know. I don't know how to really put this, but it's a long week, but at the same time, it's a week everybody looks forward to. Good way to start the year. A lot of basketball. Last week it was, ladies first, girls turn, and this week it's the guys. And I've been down to Beerstown the past couple nights, and for that tournament there. Now tonight, I'll be here, and it's just a great time. If you're a high school basketball junkie, even if you're not, just a good time to get out and watch basketball and support kids doing their thing.
Yeah, now a steal, and Robertson's going to get his first bucket if he can make the easy layup, and he can. Colby Robertson gets his first 2 of the night here in the second quarter. Shoup had 11 in the first quarter to lead the way for the Chargers. Just underway, second quarter, 16-6. It'll be 18-6 if he can make the layup. He can't, so it'll be a couple free throws coming for Colby Robertson. Foul's going to be on Whitman, his second, team's first of the second quarter. And you getting all kind of like the days of old, right? Outside of you aren't going as west as far, but with you working for Rushville and Macomb, you kind of got the old Macomb Journal coverage area covered up, don't you?
Kind of in a lot of ways, yeah. As far as especially the 2 counties, Donna County, Schuyler County. Yeah, it's
just need to add a little Hancock and Hancock County in there, and you'd be all over it, just like the old days.
Well, I'm sure probably some people down in South Fulton County would like that too, I'm sure. But, who knows? Maybe. You never know.
Wesley Robertson's going to get a couple fouls. Whitman gets his third foul. Wesley Robertson, who's got 2 points on 2 of 2 from the free throw line, missed the first one there. They have all, when he's done shooting this, they will have already shot 13 free throws here in the first half. We haven't had a game like this year, and this might be the first one. Second one off, no good as well. Wesley Robertson struggling a little bit there. But you get to see a lot of different teams doing that, kind of like we did back in the day when you and I worked together at the Macomb Journal. It's always nice getting to see some different folks and also getting back in the areas you're used to seeing people in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, the last couple of nights down at Rushville, I've seen like not to confuse people, but the Southern West Central, which is the Bluffs Winchester Co-op, which is going to be a very, very good team. Got a young man named Zach Evans. He against Rushville had, I think, like 30, and I know through 3 quarters last night against Unity, he had like 33. So they're touting him for All-State, and after watching him the first couple nights, I have no reason to doubt that. And you know, other teams down there, Beardstown's down there, of course, is a host, and Unity, Hartsburg, Emden. So
Ethan Carlisle with the triple there. Go ahead, sorry.
So, no, that's good. You got your job to do. I'm just kind of stammered here. But obviously, yeah, it's great to see different basketball. I kind of laugh. I told the Macomb coaches when I walked in here tonight that after the first 2 nights in Beardstown, I said tonight there was just a whole entire different feel walking in there because it was Macomb West Hancock. And everybody knows, you know, you could just feel the intensity when you walked in here tonight.
And this is a cool tournament. I feel like there's good teams here. Even though there's only 6 teams, there's some really good teams here. I mean, it's hard to believe that Illini West is 0-2 and coming into this game tonight. As a matter of fact, as the shot's off there, down to Rankin it goes. The spin move, shot up and good. And my point of that was, coming out of that, is these teams, you get to see a few that you don't normally see maybe, but then you also get to see some you're going to see a bunch, right? So there's rivalry and new kind of like this. Like Illini Bluffs doesn't see any of these teams except here, right? And so Clayton Hunt less than happy there as he slapped the floor. Rankin's going to get another bucket. I can't talk. And he gets his 4th point in a row. And it's 24-6. And West Prairie has not scored yet here in this second quarter. 5:34 remaining. And it was 14-6 at the end of the second. It's a 10-0 run to start, or the end of the first 10-0 run to start the second here for Illini West. But so there's like rivalry, and then there's a little bit of everything at this tournament, even with only 6 teams.
Well, I mean, just the 3 McDonough County schools. I mean, there's always going to be rivalry there, no matter how good, bad, indifferent any of them are. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. And then obviously West Hancock, you know, with Illini West, and of course, you know, those schools really feed in. You know, you could almost count them as quote-unquote McDonough County schools. I mean, the whole 5 schools in that area. Right. I mean, you know, they see each other, play each other, and not just obviously basketball, but other sports too. So that all feeds into it. And then you kind of bring in the Illini Bluffs element here, of course, with Mr. Alvey. Of course, his dad worked here at Bushnell back in the day, was the assistant girls coach for Kathy Wayman, and so that kind of adds a little sub-story into that as far as that goes. For them to see a little different competition coming this way. So it's a lot of basketball, but it's a lot of fun.
So the Chargers lead 24-6 here, and I jinxed the Cyclones. I talked about how they'd been improving, and Ryan Clark is into the game, and his pass is stolen away. Rankin back with it, gives it to Colby Robertson, and he slows things down. And Shoup is like, hey, I'm open over here. Give me the ball, but it's a little too late there. Back to Carlisle. Shoup now, 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Nice pass, Robertson to Rankin. He can't finish, though. Clayton Hunt comes down with it. They'll give it to Eli to counter, and now it goes to Braden Copeland, and they'll bring it up the floor. A lot of young kids, and we see this in small schools pretty regularly. A lot of young kids mixed with a couple seniors here and a couple older kids, but this group of young kids, freshmen and sophomores for West Prairie, are used to winning. They've played some games. They went to state a couple years ago, so they're used to winning. They might get some bruises and some beatings here early, but they know how to play basketball.
Well, I think part of the old saying always goes that, the good thing about freshmen and sophomores is that they become juniors and seniors. So
Ryan Clark gets the bucket there to end the scoring drought for the Cyclones.
So I think that's a matter of you kind of take some bumps and bruises, but, you're going to, as long as they keep working, they're going to keep working and we'll keep improving. I know when I talked to Coach from a preview that he kind of said more or less they're just worried about trying to stack days at this point, just have one good day, then have another good day on top of that, and just keep building.
Yeah, and sometimes good days don't mean wins. Good days mean improvement, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And the way he looked at it, I believe that's kind of what he was looking for. I think he was pretty realistic about what they expect coming in, but at the same time, he's wanting the kids to work hard, and he wants to kind of instill that in practice, that then he wants them to play like they practice. So he said, practices are pretty intense, and, I think we all know games aren't exactly walks in the park. So
yeah, we were just talking about that with Coach Anderson. The intensity level from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, there was a major ramp up for this game with West Hancock from Macomb as far as intensity goes.
Oh, like I said, you could feel it the minute you walked. I walked in the gym. It was just like it was just there. It was almost kind of like hanging over you like a cloud. That it was just like. Of course, with these two schools, these two programs, that there's a lot of history involved. So,
Kerfman for 3 after rolling around on the ground by Sparks, and Kerfman gets the 3 to fall.
Just like you draw it up.
Yeah, that's the kind of plays you draw up as a kid, but I don't think they draw them up on the coaching staff on the far side of the floor. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
If you could, though, you'd be a genius.
Yeah, somebody'd probably pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, if you could make that kind of stuff work all the time. But you're exactly right. You hate to say like playoff atmosphere, playoff feel, but when there's so much intensity in two teams, I don't want to say they don't like each other. As Ethan Carlisle picks up his second foul, team's second. I don't want to say they don't like each other, but they know it's going to be a rough physical game every time they play. That just kind of gives that feel, doesn't it?
It really does. And even though it's early in the year, these type of games feed into regional things later on. They'll feed into maybe tournament seedings, in Macomb. So there's plenty, even though it's quote-unquote early, these games are still pretty important for the first week of the season.
Eli DeCounter hits the first free throw. Rankin takes the seat. In for the first time, number 14, Kyle Stonger. Yeah, and that's the thing is, we're carrying all the games. That free throw's off. No good. We're carrying all the games for the Macomb Western Holiday Tournament this year here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. And
shameless plug.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to have a live show giving the top seeds and the brackets when we get that on December 17th. But these games are looked at from now until the 17th to see who should get a top seed and who should go where and where they should play and how they should fall.
Sure, absolutely. I always laugh back in the day a long time ago when the Rams were in town. Shows my dating a little bit there. But when Vermeer would always talk about exhibition games where he'd talk about, they don't count but they matter. But here they do count, and really even for early in the year they do matter.
Yeah, and the thing is they work for their holiday tournament, but they also work for, there's 3 2A schools here, and there's 3 1A schools here. Macomb's a 2A school. Illini West is a 2A school. There's a 2 for Eli DeCounter. And then you have Macomb, obviously, is a 2A school, and West Hancock. So, and all of those could end up being in the same regional. Now, it's not likely necessarily, but it's possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And it will play. Shoop took up the shot, and he's got fouled. I believe Ryan Clark's going to pick that one up.
West Prairie foul 32, Ryan Clark.
It'll be his first. Team's fourth. What do you think of the 5 fouls and then shooting deal?
What do I think? To be honest, in my opinion, I like it. I've heard some people kind of grumble a little bit about it, but the games I've seen, both boys and girls, I think it's a good rule.
Yeah, I don't think it's really changed a whole lot, except for you don't have the 1 and bonuses.
Right.
It's maybe saved some free throws in the fourth quarter, in all honesty. As Shoop makes both of those. That makes him 5 of 7 from the free throw line. It's an 18-point lead for the Chargers with 1:41 to go in the first half. You know, change is always difficult, right? I mean, and there's a foul by Stonger for the Chargers. Be his first. Team's fourth.
Yeah, sometimes you get brought in kicking and screaming, but and then you look back in the in the future. Then you look back and say, why did I raise such a fuss about it?
Now, 3 on the way by Clark is off, no good. Now, I will say, there's
good rebound.
Clayton Hunt with a good rebound and a putback. He's got 4 points. You look back to the kicking and screaming thing. Remember when they did you can't leave the lane and you can't enter the lane on a free throw until the ball hits the rim. There was a lot of arguing about that, and that's one of the few times I remember rule changes. Kerfman trying another 3. It's long off, no good. Clayton Hunt had a hand on the rebound, couldn't bring it down. Shot's going to go to Wesley Robertson, but he gets called for the travel. But what I was going to say there is that's one that didn't ever grow on people.
Right.
That's the only one that I ever remember that they made and just kind of, okay, we'll go back to the way it was kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember any other ones?
Well, maybe not necessarily for basketball, but for me, for work-wise, when they first started using digital cameras.
Oh, yes.
I absolutely hated them.
But in our defense, because I was there with you pretty much, in our defense, the cameras they gave us to use were not.
It was like taking a pea shooter to a gunfight.
Yeah, with a machine gun. Yeah, it was. You remember those triangle-shaped 10-picture cameras they gave us to start with? Had the Chandler block fire, and that's what I had to take. And I deleted the first 10 pictures I took because they weren't good for what I used. I got yelled at by the arson investigator for that because you don't delete photos. I'm like, hey, I'm not here to work for you. I got to get photos I can run in the newspaper. 3 on the way is good by Ethan Carlisle. That's his second.
You talk about this Illini West team. You got to remember, this is a team that won 20 games a year ago.
Yeah, now they are missing a few components from it, obviously, but they still know how to play some basketball.
Yeah, yes, they do. And, of course, you look on the bench there, and who do you see on the bench here for Illini West?
Same guy's been started at La Harpe Northwestern and been at Illini West since Illini West started.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Guy started at La Harpe, basically, before all that. Old Coach Lafferty, I think.
And he smiles and he's happy as he ever has been.
Oh, yeah. Of course, his son Brian is a head football coach down at Rushville, and we talk all the time. And he just says, he didn't think his dad would be happy if he wasn't coaching. So,
well, there's certain people that are that way, and there's no doubt that Tim Lafferty is one of those guys.
Absolutely right.
There's no doubt about that. We're going to take a break here at the halfway point. 32-13 Chargers. You're watching McDonald Telephone Cooperative coverage of Cyclone Sports on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. We'll be back in about 8 minutes.
As you know, MDH is our title sponsor. Welcome once again, as we're happy to bring to you another member of the staff at MDH. And today we have Bill Murdoch, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of MDH. I've talked to some people up the food chain a little bit, but you're getting ways up there for me to be talking to here. Right. But you're just another guy.
I am.
And we were joking off camera. We'll get to that a little bit maybe as we go along here. But
sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You married? You have kids?
Yep. Married. My wife's from Macomb. We have 4 children. My wife's a bomber and a leatherneck. I'm a leatherneck as well. Let's see. I grew up outside of Galesburg on a farm, and we still have a place up there. Go back there every day and enjoy the great outdoors up there. I've been in healthcare for over 30 years now. Enjoy it very much, and really look forward to the challenges that healthcare provides for us.
Now, if I remember reading through your stuff correctly, you're from Oneida, which is up by Galesburg, right?
Do you know where that is?
I do. I know where. It's part of Rova.
It is.
It's part of. We're sports people here,
Yeah.
Bill. We have to know who
I graduated
Oneida
from
is.
Rova.
Did you? So it was Rova even that far back.
Well,
Not that you're old. That
was-
isn't what I meant there.
There was
Bill.
one there was an additional town added after I graduated, but it's always been pronounced as Rova.
So what was the town that was added?
Watauga.
Watauga was
which
added.
Which is where I live now.
So you live in Watauga.
Right.
You graduated from Rova.
Correct.
But Watauga wasn't part of Rova when you graduated from Rova.
That's right. Cause
that's like a twisting, turning road right there.
Oh, yeah. It's a complex matter here. But no, after I graduated high school, went to college and all that, and then as I advanced my career, we stayed in the Midwest and finally ended up after we started having kids in the Rovo, Oneida area to raise our children, and just stayed there the whole time since then.
How, there's a lot of professions at any hospital that have a lot of very important, and they are the integral workings of the hospital. Everybody thinks physicians, nurses, providers.
Right.
But you have a lot of pressure on you on a daily basis when you're talking about the chief financial officer. So how do you find yourself into that profession? I mean, I think I'd rather be the doctor or the nurse than the chief financial officer.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. When I graduated from Western, I was recruited at that time by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, and we were doing what hospitals have to prepare a Medicare cost report, and I was auditing them. So that's how I got my step into the healthcare career. And then after that, I went to work for a consulting firm that prepared the cost reports for the hospitals and all that. And then after that, I got into the actual inner workings of the hospital, started out as a controller, then worked up to CFOs and larger organizations, and and that's kind of my niche, and that's where I've stayed my whole career.
Now, you mentioned larger organizations. Lindsay Douglas, we talked to her. She's in recruitment for you guys for physicians and providers. And this is not, as far as hospitals go, a larger,
right.
It's not a huge hospital.
Right.
So what does that do for you on a daily basis as you're trying to balance a budget or make a budget that works or help with the finances of that doesn't have maybe the bottomless pockets that some people think of when you think of a huge hospital or whatever?
Right. Yeah, I think that, you've been in one hospital, They're all different. They all have their sets of challenges and struggles and all that. What is very exciting for me is we are we're nimble, we can make quick changes, and I feel like I can make that impact in the organization, those quick impacts to get the hospital on the right track and keep it going and be viable.
Yeah, and funding in this day and age is a key in getting payments. But I'm sure you guys still look at trying to get donations and stuff, correct? Is that involved in anything you do, or do you have to consider any of that when you're trying to make your business positions?
It's a small piece of it, a little bit of it. Our biggest challenge is to get reimbursed from the insurance payers, because there's a lot of noise out there right now where insurance payers are denying everything not everything, but most things that we try to get reimbursed for. And if we don't get what we're entitled to, then it's a struggle to make payrolls.
Right.
Struggle to pay our vendors. It's really tough to keep the hospital going, make the capital improvements that we're doing on the campus right now.
And you're doing a bunch of those right now. I mean,
we are.
Yep. You guys are improving. It seems like monthly, daily, whatever, you're making improvements here in the last 10 years or so.
There's a lot of exciting things going on here on the campus right now with the retail pharmacy, or community pharmacy is what we're calling it now, because it is the community of McDonough County's pharmacy. And we're trying to prepare this organization for future generations so we can keep this hospital in the community for the people of the community.
Okay, so you work and think numbers all week.
Pretty much.
What do you think on the weekends? Now, I think I read somewhere there's some hunting and fishing involved in what you enjoy doing.
Right, yes. I like I mentioned, I grew up on a farm. We still have a farm. We still live on a farm. So I enjoy just about anything outdoors. That would be fishing, hunting, camping, spending time on the farm, just fixing things or doing whatever. That's how I decompress and recharge to do the job that I do today.
Okay. Now, I said I only had two questions. I got one more. We're about at time. But now, you're a hunter.
Yes.
and you're older like me. Okay. So I remember when I was a kid and everybody was deer hunting, if you got a deer, you were lucky.
Right.
Do you deer hunt?
I do.
And how much easier is it on your farm to get a deer now than it was when you were a kid?
Yeah, I'm really blessed because there are a lot more deer today than there was years ago when I started hunting. I do, but I enjoy deer hunting. But I also, every deer I've gotten the last 2 years, I've donated to the food pantry and let them repurpose that. Our sons also hunt with me as well. You eat a lot of that deer meat, but anything I get, it goes right to the food pantry, and I donate it back to the community.
Well, it's MDH is all about community. It's been about community, and you even go home and make it about community. So that makes you a good guy, right?
Right. Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate the comment.
Well, that'll do it for this halftime interview. We'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH with the second half right after this.
And welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. Still have Shelby Burgett under the headset with me. Shelby, first half, close first quarter kind of early, but then the scoring kind of went away for West Prairie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times with young teams, you're going to experience that. I mean, even obviously sometimes older teams do too, but and sometimes you can get a little frustrated, maybe try to force things a little bit that aren't necessarily there. So part of the learning process, I'm sure these guys will keep working, and they're going to keep getting better.
A little over a minute away from the start of the second half. We'll go ahead and do the scoreboard now so I don't forget to do it later. Third quarter coming your way here in just a few minutes.
You'd never forget anything.
Oh, I forget all the time, Shelby. I'm pretty sure it comes with old age, but I haven't figured that out for sure yet. So here's the leading scorers, 13 to lead the way for Reese Shoup. He is 5 of 7 from the free throw line. 3 points for Colin Kerfman, 3 points for Colby Robertson, 6 points for Ethan Carlisle, 4 points for Hayden Rankin, 1 point on 1 of 2 free throw shooting for Steven Sparks, 2 points on 2 of 4 free throw shooting for Wesley Robertson. The Chargers are 9 of 15 from the charity stripe in the first half. The Cyclones led by 4 points from Clayton Hunt, both on shots very close to the basket, one on an offensive rebound and a putback. They have 3 points from Eli DeCounter. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line as well. 2 points for Braden Copeland, 2 points for Ryan Clark, 2 points for Brody Cordell. And that's the scoring for West Prairie as we work towards the start of the third quarter here. And you talked about, Shelby, that Coach wants the Cyclones to just show improvement. If you don't win, we still want to show some improvement. Don't know that I said early that it looked like they were playing better defensively. They were doing some things, and it kind of got away from them. Probably responding out of the halftime break into the second half would be a good improvement, right?
Absolutely. After that second quarter, I'm sure coaches kind of get them back on track a little bit and say, hey, here's what we need to do. Let's do this. Let's try this. And I guess probably the best way to describe Cyclones will probably be work in progress. And I mean, especially with them being young, like you said, they've had success at the lower levels. So it's going to take probably a little time for it to translate. But if they stick with it, I mean, they could be a very good 1A team in the future.
Reese Shoup missed that one. So it'll be the Cyclones trying to get the first bucket. Hilton throws it up and in.
That's a nice shot.
That went up strong, got the bucket to fall, and Xavier Hilton gets his first 2 of the game.
Okay, so my pet peeve, and I've said it all week, that I've been at 3 and 4 games, Dwayne. My pet peeve of the week is why do not some of these players use the backboard on the shot? I saw a couple games this week where it's like if they would have used the backboard, they could have had 15, 20 more points, but, 15, that might be a little tough up at the 2-point basket, but you know what I'm saying?
Hey, we saw a 3 banked in from almost the corner earlier, so it is possible to bank into threes too. Robertson with a runner. Colby Robertson gets his 5th point.
But I was down at Beardstown last night watching Rushville and Hartsburg-Emden, and the kid did that, and I'm just like, use the backboard, and I had a couple Brown County assistant coaches standing by me, and they just busted out laughing. I said, well, you don't get any bonus points for putting it straight in without using the backboard.
No, you don't.
Ooh, that's a good move there. That's a good shot.
Little Euro step-ish kind of move for Braden Copeland. He's got 4 now. Shoop with it, left wing, looks down to Wesley Robertson, who has been really quiet tonight. Colby Robertson to Rankin, who gets another bucket.
That's a nice move and a nice pass there and a nice finish.
Hayden Rankin has 6 points now. Colby Robertson is a go-getter. Number 2 for the Chargers. He is 100% on the go all the time. Clayton Hunt got up. He thought about dribbling, but he was pretty much already up before he realized he should be dribbling.
Well, maybe that's part of the old football mentality there. Of course, one of the cycling football players that just pick it up and run with it, pick it up and go with it. But fortunately, you can't do that in basketball.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on Reese Shoop, and that's absolutely the correct call. Is Shoop just put the forearms out. It'll be his first, team's first foul of the second half. 5:32 to go in the third quarter, and that's the first foul for either team. You remember back in the day when there was 40 fouls called, and Hilton puts up another one. Hey, look what he did right there.
Hey, the bank is open.
He listened to you. He must have heard you.
I doubt that. Not very many people listen to me. That's another story for another time. But it was a good shot. I mean, you use backboard, you square up. It's nice work.
Clayton Hunt may be picking up the foul there. We'll see if they call it on the first one or the second one. It is on Clayton Hunt. His first, team's first. Colby Robertson going to shoot a couple more free throws. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Hits the first. 37-19, back to an 18-point lead. 5:05 to go, third quarter. Hits the second. Going to be Matt Whitman, who's been number 10, number 31. Now he's back to number 10 tonight. And they're going to call Wesley Robertson with the foul. He was kind of looking like he was trying to call a charge with his hand. I was trying to figure out what he was trying to call. Wesley Robertson's going to pick up the foul. It's his first.
I think he was trying to sort it out there, too.
That's a possibility. Oh, goodness. Now you're starting to sound like something I would say right there. Of course, I'm always trying to sort out what I'm trying to say. I just say things and think to myself, why did I say that? Hilton goes down low to Copeland. Pull-up jumper about 16 feet's good. He did not use the backboard, though.
That was a good shot, though. See, they've already, they've got 8 points this half already.
That is correct.
So they're doing some things offensively. Just tighten it up a little bit on defense there. Looks like maybe a little 2-3 zone action, 2-1-2 maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-1-2. Clayton Hunt stays so far up in the middle, it almost has to be a 2-1-2, doesn't it? He never goes down to the bottom, except during the transition he'll drop down. But other than that, he stays up to the middle. Carlisle jumper's good.
Nice looking shot there.
First shot that was not outside the three-point line to fall for him. 19-point advantage. Live chat's open. Hop in there, tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for.
Ooh.
Hilton goes to the rack and goes to the floor after the foul. He'll get a couple free throws.
Love the aggressiveness there of going to the basket and taking it and forcing contact and getting to the line.
Xavier Hilton shooting a couple free throws. Robertson gets his second foul of the third quarter. Chargers have 3 now, and Hilton misses the first one.
I think we remember Mr. Hilton from football didn't really shy away from contact a whole lot of times.
No, he didn't. Sparks checked back in. Rankin checks out for the Chargers. Second one is good. He's got 5 all here in the third quarter. Colby Robertson to Shoop. Wesley Robertson playing the middle. He's got it top of the free throw line area. Copeland tried to steal it away. I think he had more arm than he did ball, but there was no foul called. And now he's going to get that one, and he's going to bounce it off his leg. In his defense, he never really did ever gather control of that ball up.
He didn't. He was trying to, and he was kind of a little bit out of control too, kind of rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, as Chris Berman would say. But good effort, though. Good hustle, trying to get it, just couldn't quite finish.
Yeah, he was hustling down the floor, and the ball was rolling away from him as fast as he could get to it. And when he tried to gather it up because he was going to have to put the shot up, it bounced off his leg. Tough break for him as we approach the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Colby Robertson, they're just daring him to shoot that triple. Wesley Robertson says, I'll shoot it. Rebound to Sparks, put back off, no good. Hilton with the rebound. Whitman now is going to walk it up the floor, kind of jog it up actually. 2:45 remaining. And that was a pretty big-time carry on that crossover dribble, but no call. The counter with it. Gives it to Hilton. Hilton nearly has it stolen. Back to the counter. Not a whole lot of motion here for West Prairie as they set it up now. See if Hilton can do something with it. Gives it to the counter. To Whitman. Left side, Copeland. Braden Copeland drives, and he's going to draw the foul on Colby Robertson, I do believe. It is on number 2, Colby Robertson. Picks up his first. Team's fourth. Braden Copeland's going to shoot a couple free throws now. There's a lot of free throws being shot in this game. What I was getting ready to say earlier, you remember as Andrew Hunt checks in, Clayton Hunt's going to check out. You remember back when you and I were working at the Journal before Danville, when these games would happen early in the year, there'd be 60 free throws shot in a game.
Oh, yeah. That would be commonplace.
And we don't see as much of that anymore.
We don't, fortunately.
No kidding. These first opening season tournament games were just horrendous.
Yeah,
sometimes.
you'd get some games that last almost 2 hours.
Yeah. 50 fouls and 60 free throws.
And you still saw that even at Christmas time. I remember seeing some Christmas games down at Beardstown that were that way. I remember one year with Macomb and Unity girls, it ended up like 50 fouls, 60 free throws shot, and it was just like never ending.
Shoop's shot was off, no good. Hilton with the rebound.
Those just aren't fun. I'm sorry. They're just not fun. They're playing hard and whatever, but I'm sorry. It just.
Yeah, but it's funny that we say that and we remember those games, right? And then as Whitman goes, pull up, out to Hilton. And we say these teams, they aren't shooting well, they aren't passing well, they aren't doing whatever as well. But they're doing something right because they don't have 50 fouls and 60 free throws in the game.
Right.
So.
And even in a game like this, okay, this is the third night in a row these guys have played. And, I was talking to the Macomb coaches briefly earlier and said, about, how I thought, the shooting was kind of, for West Hancock. They usually shoot the ball so well and a lot of their shots were short, whatever. But, then Macomb really didn't take care of the ball well at times either. And, just said in both counts, just 3 days in a row. These kids are young, but still 3 games in 3 nights. There's got to be a little bit of a toll involved, especially early in the season.
Well, and then you throw in the fact that that they didn't have the day off, so they didn't have school today. Robertson's going to loft up the triple and hits it. They didn't have school today, right? So they probably didn't go to bed early last night. They didn't necessarily probably do everything, or at least all of them didn't do everything they should have to prepare for today.
Oh, come on. Kids don't do that, Dwayne. What do you mean?
Yeah. I do it, so. Sparks is going to pick up the foul. His first, team's 5th.
I'm too old to do that. This old dog just stays on the porch anymore.
For me, it's just working.
Yeah.
It's you have this to do or that to do, and you just can't help it. You got to stay awake, and you don't get that sleep,
That's why I laughed. I told the people, I said the Beardstown people must like me because for Rushville, 3 nights for pool play, they had their games at 5 o'clock. So Monday and Tuesday, my games were at 5 o'clock, and then I was home by 7. So I didn't have to deal with any 8 o'clock games or whatever. So
Whitman shooting a couple free throws, missed the first. 17.5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Missed the second as well. Robertson pushes it down in a hurry. Dumps it out. Kerfman, 3, left wing, no good. Shoop saves it in.
Oh, that's a nice save. That's a good hustle.
Whitman
there.
comes up with it. 4-3. 2-1. Whitman, the length of the floor, and a layup is good.
Nice job. Nice job. I don't know if he had clock aware or not, but he just head down and went, and IW didn't stop him and got the layup. Nice job.
That's a 43-24 at the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH, they're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. And Shelby was getting ready to answer my statement off air. 2 of 8 from the free throw line is pretty rough, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to, I've seen so many games this year already to where free throw shooting is really, in a situation with the foul rule and everything, you get a chance to go to the free throw line, you gotta make them. I mean, that's something that never changes, no matter what the foul rule, no matter what it is. You got free throws, you gotta make them. I mean, that's like a fact of life,
Yeah, if you're a basketball player and you get free throws, you have to make them. There's zero doubt about that. A much more even quarter there. Braden Copeland pull-up jumper is good.
That's a nice shot there, too, off the glass.
He's got 8 points.
Yeah. West Prairie's been better offensively in the second half for sure.
Yeah, substantially better. That's no doubt about that. And a little better defensively, too. They didn't give up near as many points that quarter. Wesley Robertson out to Colby Robertson, right side Shoup. Shoup has been scoreless since the first half. He's going to be fouled by Andrew Hunt right there and get a couple free throws. First foul of the second or fourth quarter. His first for Andrew Hunt. Shoup at the free throw line. He's 5 of 7 from the charity stripe on the night. They're 11 of 17 going into that. He made the first one. Second one's no good. So he goes to 6 of 9, 66%.
You talk about this tournament at the beginning of the year, and one of the other things that make this a really cool tournament is this gymnasium.
Yeah.
This venue is pretty sweet, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's one of the best in the state, for small school especially. Out to Kerfman from Colby Robertson, and Kerfman just doesn't take it. He could have. He was wide open. He decided to run some clock instead with 6:49 to go. Colby Robertson says, I'll take it, and he nails it. Another triple for Colby Robertson. He's got 13 points now. Matt Whitman, who got the last bucket of the third quarter, had the ball there. Oh, Braden Copeland, draws another foul.
Kind of looked like he was hemmed in there and kind of found a little spot and found his way to the basket and is going to the line.
Wesley Robertson picks up his third. Copeland 2 free throws. First one is good. Ethan Carlisle checks back in. Wesley Robertson checks out. Eli DeCounter comes in. Andrew Hunt checks out for the Cyclones. 6:30 remaining. It's a 20-point game, 47-27. Make it 19. I was going to say make it, and then I thought, well, that was going to roll out for a split second.
You almost jinxed it.
I almost did.
Almost.
That close.
Missed it by that much.
Ethan Carlisle gives it to Robertson. Shoup. Floater off, no good. Matt Whitman with the rebound. Another foul. This is on Kerfman. His second, team second.
Coleman's doing a good job of being aggressive and taking the ball to the basket in these getting rewarded for it by getting to the free throw line.
His third and fourth free throws from the free throw line in this quarter. I guess the free throw lines wouldn't come from anywhere else. John McCormick, thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Coach McCormick.
Absolutely, Coach Mack, one of the best, no question. One of the good guys.
Full timeout charged to West Prairie. We'll tell you this game being brought to you by Ryden Farm Supply, located in the heart of Walnut Grove and in business since 1974. Ryden Farm Supply can meet all your needs for LP seed, fertilizer, and farm chemicals. Their LP service is unmatched in this area, and as a customer, they will take care of you. Give them a call today at 309-772-3121. And Pond Plus. Pond Plus is proud to have served Macomb and the surrounding area for over 20 years, providing cash for most items of value. Pond Plus is the area's largest seller of used items, including firearms. They also provide on-site jewelry repair and are open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. They have a great selection of jewelry, electronics, tools, and video games located at 324 West Jackson Street in Macomb between Erico and Taco Bell. Well, Shelby, we talked about that the Cyclones would want to come out in the second half and play a lot better, and I think at this point with 6 minutes to go, essentially in the fourth quarter, you can say that they have.
Absolutely. I think it's been a big difference offensively. They seem to be more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket and, look for better shots. And defensively they picked it up a little bit too. So, like I said, it goes back to stacking days and stacking practices or whatever, stacking play. And I think at this point they've done that the second half.
Shoop Copeland's going to pick up the foul.
Cyclone foul, 23, rated.
That's his third.
Team second.
Team second of the fourth quarter. Rankin with it down low. Colby Robertson with it far side. They kind of passing it around. Using some clock here are the Chargers. Carlisle to Kerfman. Robertson, three, right wing, off, no good. Rebound to Cole Cordell. He'll bring it up for the Cyclones, down by 17. Turnover. Robertson gives it off to Rankin. Rankin can't finish. Tipped around. It's going to come out to Carlisle. Back to Rankin. 3 black jerseys and 1 white jersey, and the 1 white jersey got the ball tipped out to his teammates.
Funny how it works that way sometimes.
Going to go to the Cyclones. Steven Sparks checking back in for the Chargers. Matt Whitman with the drive, and he's going to be fouled. He'll get a couple free throws now. Kerfman's going to pick up the foul, his third. Team's third of the fourth quarter. Matt Whitman, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Going to shoot 2 here. First one's in and out, no good.
And that's one of those things as a coach. I mean, what do? You they're there that they got to execute that, and you just got to concentrate. And there you go. That looked more like it.
He hits the second. I'm struggling here, Sheld.
I noticed that, man.
There's the 3 right into the game, hitting a triple for Brennan Grotz. I was getting ready to say he checked in, and he just said, I'll just hit a 3, so give you a reason to talk about me. Under 4 minutes to go. Back to a 19-point game. Block's going to be called on Sparks. Whitman's going to be at the free throw line again.
Number 20, Steven Sparks picks up the foul. That's his second. Team four. No shot.
I'm going to say the foul was on the floor.
Xavier Hilton is back in for West
Hilton
Prairie.
checks in for West Prairie. Clayton Hunt checks out. Cordell with the bucket. Cole Cordell gets his first two. (50-33). Matt Whitman's going to pick up the foul to be his fourth.
Cyclone foul number 10, Matt Whitman.
I think Whitman's did a nice job coming in here. Kind of lifted a little bit here. Kind of gave him a little bit of a spark here in the second half.
Yeah, Copeland and Whitman have both played pretty well. Whitman is a freshman, and I believe Copeland is a freshman as well. So 2-1-2 still in full effect here. Dots going to give it to Robertson. Three on the way again. That one's short, but Shoops there for the rebound to put back off, no good. Boy, there had to be some foul there somewhere, and then they call that one late. I wish I had replay right now because I want to see the handstand that Xavier Hilton did after he got knocked down.
The young man has skills.
He does. Eli DeCounter picked up the foul, his third.
I couldn't even begin to do any of that. They'd be picking me up off the floor.
With a crane for me. If I fell like that.
I'd tell them just drag me off the floor so they can keep playing. Don't let me slow you down.
Just roll me out of the way. First free throw by Sparks is off, no good. 50-33, 3:14 remaining in the basketball game. Second one is good. He is 2 for 4 from the free throw line. The counter with it at 3 minutes remaining to Whitman. Look down low.
Oh, that's a good
Hilton
pass. I think he tried
rushed
to hurry
it a little bit, yep. Robertson on the fast break.
They had the right idea on that last possession, West Prairie did. He just kind of hurried it a little bit. I think if he could have taken an extra half second together, he could have probably scored a layup on that.
Looks like some subs getting ready to come in for Illini West. They've been up by 15-20 here this entire second half pretty much, but they have never really been able to put the Cyclones away here in the second half.
No, they haven't. West Prairie's kind of did a nice job of just sticking with it.
And free throws coming for Eli to counter. Sparks is going to pick up foul number 3.
20, Steven Sparks, his third, team fifth.
2 free throws coming for Eli to counter. He's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Got 3 points. First one's off, no good.
In the Charger lineup, 14, Kyle Stonger and 24, Wesley Robertson.
Kyle Stonger and Wesley Robertson back in, so he's not clearing the bench. Those guys have both already played. DeCounter's second free throw off, no good. DeCounter, I don't know if DeCounter has left the game. Hilton's going to pick up a foul. That'll walk back the other way for free throws now. Both teams have 5 fouls. That means both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Wesley Robertson is 2 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. He's got only 2 points. I would have maybe dinged him as an all-tournament selection possibly after the first 2 games, but tonight has not been his night. He missed the front end of this 2 free throws as well. Second one is good, so he stays at 50%. Shot up, off, no good by Whitman. Outlet comes to Grotz. Wesley Robertson. Robertson down to Stonger. 1:53 remaining. He'll try another 3. Well, Grotz is good. He's got 6 off the bench.
Bang, bang.
Now some subs are getting ready to come in. 1:35 remaining. Didn't mention that Isaac Jones is in the game, and then they're going to take some subs here. They're going to call a timeout for subs. Just for subs. Number 13 checking in. James Reynolds checks in. Number 5, Caden Little. Number 35, Wesley Smith. Number 3, who I don't have on my roster.
It's a mystery.
Grotz is going to throw that one away with 1:18 remaining. And I know this game says 57-33, but the second half has been a whole lot better than that. 2, 4, 6. Who do we appreciate?
They was trying to get the sub in there, and he inbounded it.
Braden Copeland didn't want to come off the floor. Ryan Clark back in. Caden Little is going to walk it up the floor. Also in number 33, Brody Cordell. Number 13 is James Reynolds. Grotz is going to step on the end line. It'll be possession back to Cyclones. 1:04 remaining. Little walks it up the floor. Grotz trying to steal it away, and he's going to be called for the foul.
Charge of foul, number 23, Brennan Grotz is hurt.
Grotz, and at the free throw line, Caden Little is going to shoot a couple free throws. Kind of jinxed us with the whole 60 free throws thing. I don't know where we're at. We're not near 60, but we're at quite a few. Little misses the first. 56.7 seconds remaining. Second one off, no good. Rebound to Stonger. Jones with it, right side, Stonger again. Left side, Grotz. He'll try another 3. Off, no good. Jones and Brody Cordell fight for it over there. Jump ball goes to Illini West. Out top, it comes to Smith. Down in the corner, Grotz again for 3. It's off, no good. Outlet to Little. He'll put the runner up off, no good. Smith with the rebound. No, he lost it. Bouncing around. Jair Flora is in the game for the Cyclones. Stonger with it. Gives it to Smith. Grotz counted in a foul. Little's going to pick up the foul. Brennan Grotz has a chance to get 9 points here in the fourth quarter. Caden Little gets in the scorebook after missing a couple free throws as well. .3 seconds remaining. Off, no good as a free throw. Ryan Clark with the rebound. Little's going to put up the shot. It's short, and that's how it's going to end. 59-33, the final. I got to do some stats. You've been watching McDonough Telephone Cooperative coverage of West Prairie Cyclone Sports on TSSR Game Time Live. We'll play a few ads, and we'll come back with some stats in just a couple minutes.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
When I walk in and talk to my patients, I like my patients first and foremost to feel comfortable. I like to keep it real with them. I like them to know that I'm there to listen to them and to help them understand some of the processes that they may be going through. The most rewarding aspect that I feel with caring for patients is when those patients come back in and they tell me how much better they feel for something that I have helped them accomplish in their healthcare.
When my parents told me they'd be using Adams Experts, I felt a bit replaced. I mean, they always called me to remove their viruses or get their printer connected to Wi-Fi. He even set up their new Roku.
How do I adopt a new son?
But then he taught me a few things. And now, we're like tech brothers.
Adams Experts. Repair, maintenance, and setup for all your home technology needs.
And welcome back as we look at some stats. Shelby Burgett still alongside, and I didn't add up, excuse me, the quarters, but the 9 points from Grotz kind of threw that off a little bit, but 11-11 in the third quarter, so the Cyclones did come out and play a much better second half.
Absolutely. It, like you say, it kind of got away a little bit there at the end, but Coach has to be encouraged with the way that second half looked. They did some good things offensively, and 3 games in, so I think he knew what to expect, and I'm sure they're going to keep working hard, and they're going to keep getting better.
Yeah, they got outscored 16-9, but the bench scoring at the end for Illini West changed that a lot.
Yes.
So looking at some stats here, 12 points to lead away for Braden Copeland for the Cyclones for a team high 12. Nobody else had more than 5. Xavier Hilton had 5. No points for Little. He was 0 of 2 from the free throw line. 2 points for Cole Cordell. 2 points for Ryan Clark. 2 points for Brody Cordell. 4 points for Clayton Hunt. 3 points for Eli DeCounter, who was 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Matt Whitman had 3 points. He was 1 of 4 from the free throw line. They actually finished 7 of 18 from the charity stripe.
Ouch.
Yeah, that needs improvement for sure. But some of those guys shooting it down the stretch, I don't know that they hardly ever came out of the game either. So
that's true.
Young freshmen and shooting a lot of free throws down the stretch.
And third game in the 3 days, as we talked about earlier.
Game high 15 points for Colby Robertson. He was also 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. 14 points for Reese Shoup. He had 11 of those in the first quarter. He finished 6 of 9 from the charity stripe. 8 points for Ethan Carlisle. 8 points for Brennan Grotz off the bench. 3 points for Cole Kerfman. 6 points for Hayden Rankin, all in the middle 2 quarters. 1 point for Steven Sparks. 3 points for Wesley Robertson. They were 13 of 22 from a charity stripe. Well, a little better, but not great.
Right.
So,
but there again, third game in 3 days too, and I'm sure all these guys, their legs are probably feeling it a little bit. So
that is for certain. Well, Shelb, thanks for coming and talking to me.
Always an honor and pleasure, my friend. Just everybody have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Make sure you root for my Seahawks against the 49ers tomorrow, because they're going to need all the help they can get at this point. But
Geno Smith going to play?
I don't know. The way they've played the last 2 or 3 weeks
may not matter.
Well, you look at what they got coming up. They got 49ers short week, then they got Dallas next Thursday, mini bye, 49ers again, and then the Eagles for the next 4 weeks. So
that's rough.
I'm not. Let's just say I'm not really the most overly optimistic of people right now, but the old saying, that's why we play them. So, and that's why we play these high school games. It's fun. I've done this for over 30 years. I don't know what else I would have done otherwise. So it's honor and pleasure. Join you. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving and get a chance Friday weekend from here on to get out and support your teams. And if you can't, where to turn, right here, the main man.
Yeah, we'll be here Friday and Saturday for sure.
The Francois D train.
That's right. Thanks for talking and thanks for hanging out, folks. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the Spartans varsity game against Illini Bluffs. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.